here we go, Mother's Day. So we're just going to do a 3-nail design this time. This is an oldie but goodie. It's creative. It's Tutti Frutti is the name of the pink. And then this is just a shimmer that one of the many that I have. And this particular nail right here, I sugared with a sugaring, it's called, I think it's Sangria. I used it in one of my other videos too, which you can check out. It was in the spring video. So I sugared the end of this nail already. So it's got the sheer back, and then I sugared the top. And now we're going to do some lace work on these for spring and for Mother's Day. So here we go. So I am a huge fan of lace patterns. However, I don't use them nearly often enough. So I have 2 lace patterns that I took out today. This one is, oh, sorry, that way. Plate BP L020. I'm not sure. I believe it is a Maniology plate, possibly. There's no name on the back. This one is BP L045. And we're going to play with these 2 plates and see what we can come up with. Alright, the first thing that I want to do is think about like my overall design. I have some negative space going on, and I kind of envisioned having some strips here. So I think we might use like a half of this strip on either side of this. The one thing I will tell you if you're using these Maniology metallics is that they're very dry to work with. And so frequently, like you can see it here, sometimes it doesn't pick up the whole stamp, which is actually okay in this case because I only want half of it anyway. So I'm going to erase half of it. I'm going to pull that piece over there off, and then I'm going to see where we're at. So I'm just going to line this up. And I do mostly like it, so I'm going to go ahead and put it down. Okay. And I'm going to go back in and get another round of that. So this will take a minute just because I'm only using half a stamp and I'm being difficult about it. Which is nobody's fault but my own, that I'm being difficult about it. So I think I'm going to use my 2 good parts first, and then, because they're a nice long run. And I'm just going over the edge a tiny bit. Oh, actually, I got the whole thing on that one. That was pretty good. I have to finish this one over here. So what I did, bring it up a little closer so you can see it, is I went halfway between. So I lined that stamp up halfway between, and then I just pressed it down. So we're going to do that one more time. My allergies are killing me, so I apologize because I know I keep clearing my throat, but it's just not much to be done about it. I haven't used this plate a whole lot. I feel like when I've used it, I've struggled with it a little bit. It could be the paint I'm using too, though. Because remember I told you that these tend to dry out quickly. There we go. And I'm going to remove half the stamp again, so that when I come over here I can match this up, hopefully, which I can, and there we go. Okay, so now we have 2 tones. Then I'm thinking we're going to put some flowers across the middle here. But I love the spiral pattern in it, and I just noticed that, and I'm loving it, so we're going for it. Alright. So let me just clean up my mess over here. I'm going to paint that in over there. Scrape. Press. Yep, I'm feeling that. Okay, now, because I want to leave a little negative space on this nail in the opposite way, I'm going to kind of get to the middle of the stamp part that I want. And I'm just going to roll it over. And there we go. So you can see now I have an opposite negative space from this one, which I think is nice. And then we'll finish that off in a minute. I won't leave it just like that, but we might draw in a little bit of that sequin to tie it together that way. So I'm just going to make sure my plate is clean because I don't remember when the last time I used this was. And I'll go into some of this color. And scrape it up. Pick it up. Oh, that's nice. I like that. It's nice and light. I think it'll be a good contrast. Now, because I have that French already done in here, so I did that before I knew what I was doing, I'm going to hold my plate sideways, or my stamper sideways, so that I can get that in there better. This is very without that behind it. I really like the way this came out. So you can see it's very subtle, it's soft. But with the strength of this back here, I think it's just a nice soft nail. It's really a bummer actually that you can't see it super well on that. Alright, so that is that. Now we gotta do some, flowers. I told you we were gonna do flowers. Flowers. Okay, so I've not used this one before. It's Maniology. So this will be an experiment. There you go. We're gonna switch plates again and finish out our lace pattern over here by adding just some quick, simple little lines. Just so we can tie in to our design. Sometimes this is hard. Oops, sorry. Sometimes this is hard to do on camera. So there we go. So now we have 3 designs finished, and I am going to go over to this one. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to tidy up that little edge between the sugaring and the lace with a little sequin as well. And just bring that down. Make sure my edge goes over. Okay. So the last thing we have to do is decide what we're doing with this one because I wasn't as crazy about that one in the middle. But I think I have an idea for that one. So I was thinking about this. And I wanted to bring in this pink, and then I thought perhaps bringing in a little bit of purple would also be nice. So, whoa, so sorry. So I think bringing in some pink and purple would be nice. So this is Blooming. Yes, this is, sorry, Blossom. This is Blossom. And this one is Flourish, and I believe they came from the same collection. So I'm going to, I'm famous for flipping caps, I apologize. When I need just a tiny bit of paint, I flip my cap. It's not a good habit to have, but it's one that I do. I do have that habit. So what I'm going to do is use the original stamp to help me to make the flowers. And I'm going to leave a little bit of that yellow showing at the edge, so I get just a little bit of an outline. You could reverse stamp this, which is the way I would have done it had I thought about it beforehand, but I didn't before I put the stamp down. But that's okay, because there's multiple ways you can use a stamp. So I'm really just using my stamp to be sort of like a coloring book for me. And then the last thing I'm going to do is take Ghoulish, and I'm going to use Ghoulish to just... Actually, you know what? I'm not going to use Ghoulish. I'm going to use Opus 1. Because I think Ghoulish is not quite giving me the effect that I want. I'm going to use Opus 1 to just give my flowers a touch more color, because the leaves don't have a lot of color here. And even though this seems like a very bright color, when you put it onto the nail, it's not as vivid. So, and I am coming up over my lace pattern a little bit, because my stamp did overrun my lace pattern, which is completely fine. I actually like that idea because it gives it the sense that the flowers are sort of in the front as opposed to in the background. And there we go. So you can see, I think that's much better. It gives it a little bit more dimension and color. Patterns and whatnot. I think that was actually a lot of fun. I got interrupted once, so the video may have a little jump in it when I go to edit, because I ran out of room on my card, which is never a good thing. Alright, so now the big reveal, because this is the fun part. I'm using my smudge-free top coat. I'm going right over my sugar. You don't have to go over your sugaring if you want it to be, you know, still have that kind of textured look to it. I don't mind that it's smooth, so I'm going to go right over it. And you can see this makes that lace pattern really pop out. And I'm going to drip some over the top of that because it's a very fresh paint. I don't want to accidentally drag it. And I'm just floating my top coat over the top, which is the best way to do it so that you don't accidentally drag your design. And you can see that just made that pop out even more. And there we go. 3 sweet little designs for Mother's Day. Quick and easy. Hope you enjoyed. See you again.